Hi there, Tom Cassidy here. We're talking about EFT and freedom from stress and anxiety with EFT. And Peter Blanks from New Zealand is the guy who's put this program together, this No Sweat Contentment program. I love the title, by the way. I love No Sweat Contentment. That's brilliant. I'd be very interested in finding out in this short little section is what success stories have you got with EFT? When EFT is just astounded you, gobsmacked you, if you like, and it's what sort of results have you got? Because I don't know really anything about it, and I'm thinking, you know, whoa, it's a little bit out there. I'm pretty esoteric, but for me, I'm thinking, okay, all right. So I'd be really interested in that take on, well, actually, no, this stuff works. I don't really know how it works, but it definitely works. So over to you, Peter.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, and like you, when I first came across it, I thought it was fairly woo-woo, and you know, it took me a bit to get my head around it. And I thought, how am I ever going to sit in my professional office working with professional clients doing this stuff? Anyway, I do now, and it's just magic. I do because it works. It's as simple as that. And people actually are very open to it, and it's very simple. Don't even have to believe it. Don't have to do anything. Just it just works the miracle. So I've had many experiences of it, from simply like just a couple of weeks ago I had a young boy, and I take the actors creed, don't work with animals and children, but in this case I did, and this young boy was having all sorts of problems at school, would lose it, had anger problems, and his mother had tried all sorts of things, and we had one session and he stopped doing it. I mean, it's just, and we just had fun, you know. It was really interesting. I pushed some of his magic buttons, and it was away. Right through to, I've had a woman that was, I was working with her and her husband, and she was so angry. It was unbelievable. This anger, in our sessions, would go woof. She'd erupt, and I asked her what that was about, and she said she didn't want to talk about it. And anyway, long story short, we actually got to that she really had some difficulty that she'd had in the past that she still lived with and was very angry about, and she didn't want to talk about it. And I said, well, great, you don't with EFT. I don't need to know what's going on. I'll just run the process. And she said to me at that moment, her life changed, because this stuff that had gone on, and it was all about, she'd been sexually abused and all sorts of things. Hadn't forgot that had happened, of course, but the emotion around it, the first time she could actually talk about it, and so it just poof, it went. So what EFT is about is, you can't change history, it is what it is, but it's the emotion that attached with it that causes the suffering, and when we can take the intensity out of the emotion, then you can get on and live your life beautifully. So I've had many, just from people just having headaches, to people being just really stressed about something, didn't even really know what he was stressed about. I just asked them a few simple questions. EFT often only takes 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes longer. Very simple process, and next thing they're going, well, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, it's like, what problem? It's like, it just virtually and you can see people just relax as you're doing the process. Yeah, sounds crazy, but.
Well, you know, I'm really into things that sound crazy as long as they work. You know, I don't need them to sound sensible. I judge things by the results, because I'm a real scientist, which is not whether the theory is elegant, not whether the theory is sexy or not. It's just like, does it give results that we can predict? Yeah. Does it seem to work consistently? You know, it's only science if it generates results and we can predictions, and we can test those predictions and they're consistent with the results. And so I'm really fascinated by this, and I'm really looking forward to diving deep into this when you apply EFT to all these different areas. And of course, what a perfect combination if you've got something that works really well and that can be applied, and people can benefit and sort of learn it and develop the skills in all these different areas of their life. That sounds like a winning combination to me.
Yeah, I think that's key in my experiences, that I've given this to people, I've shown them how to do it, but you know, doing it on your own and working your way through that is not most useful, and that's where I see the program just working beautifully, because we've got time to work through this. We can do all the different aspects, we can talk about how specific you need to be about it, how you actually do the program, I can get actually people working through it and get some feedback from that. So it's going to be wonderful. Yeah.
This is really exciting. Okay, Peter, thanks very much for your time for that quick overview. There's nothing better than hearing individual success stories about clients in specific cases, so really appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Tom.
No worries.